What do you got for us, Tyler?
All right, you guys are up at Hallis Hall, took in minicamp today, and I want you to fill in the blank to this question. Caleb Williams' performance today was
pretty good. It was okay.
Average.
Yeah.
Which is acceptable.
What leads you to that conclusion?
I thought there was some good and there was some bad. I thought that there's a really nice corner route he threw to Roma Dunze.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they had any real issues with cadence, which is something the coach talked about yesterday.
Right.
I don't see any, issues with, just the functionality of getting plays in and getting, them to the line of scrimmage and all of that being done.
There were more incompletions than I would have liked. He didn't have trouble getting the ball out as much today as he did yesterday.
He dirted it a couple of times, so I thought it was.
Again, it wasn't like a day to write home about, but there were still there are still throws that wow you. And again,
he threw and made a very good. I think the first play of 7-on-7, or was it? I don't know. Whatever he threw I don't know if it was a corner route or a deep out to DJ Moore. It was a good catch, but it was an equally good throw. I mean, so there were some things that he's got an exceptionally strong arm.
Yeah,
he really does.
And Tyler, again, like I said it during crosstalk, if this is the starting point, if this is the part where it's his first mandatory minicamp against veterans as his first experience as a rookie, and this is the beginning point, the launching point, when he knows the least about the offense, the least going against a defense, this is a pretty good start. You know what I mean? Like, if this is the foundation part, I think the sky could be the limit.
That's certainly good to hear for Bears fans. This was an interesting thing that was said yesterday by Keenan Allen. And Keenan Allen, or we were talking a little bit earlier about the comps to Eli Manning, as if Caleb has an Eli Manning career, would we be satisfied? But Keenan Allen compared what he's seen from Caleb Williams to a different quarterback from that draft class. This is Eberflus. And Matt Eberflus also made the comp as well.
Yeah, I was with Philip. And again, they're very similar in terms of their accuracy. I mean, because they can put the ball on the money, and that's what Phil did. Had great anticipation, was a great teammate, was super fiery guy. He really energized our team that year when we were with him, and I see Caleb the same way.
If Caleb Williams has a Phillip Rivers, well, let's just take the numbers. We'll take the fact that he didn't win any Super Bowls out of the equation. If he has a Phillip Rivers career, is that satisfactory for you as a Bears fan?
I'm going to the ProFootballReference.com site to get his actual stats.
I think his stats were really good.
Eight-time Pro Bowler, threw for 63,000 yards, threw for 421 touchdowns to 209 interceptions.
So
Led the league in touchdowns one year, yards another year.
I know people would say, like, that's the essence of, that's what it was set, that they would be either up 4 or down 3 in the last possession of the game. And,
what's your eyes tell you? What do your eyes tell you?
My eyes tell me that Phillip Rivers can play a damn good quarterback position.
He can spin it.
And that he's a Hall of Famer.
They had the #1 defense and #1 offense in 2010 and missed the playoffs because of their special teams.
Because of special teams?
Yeah.
Remember when he played in the AFC Championship game against the Patriots with a torn ACL?
Yeah, that was 2006. That was actually his first year as a starter.
Was it really?
They were 14-2 that year. Remember, that's back when they had LaDainian Tomlinson. I think early Phillip Rivers was better than late career Phillip Rivers when his arm strength wasn't quite what it once was.
Well, and all those kids he had to watch.
And as a career, he was 134 and 106.
Wait, are you more tired after watching kids or not watching kids? And then he started having 4, and then 5, and then 6, and then 7.
And then 9.
After I thought I was going to have 3 until I had 2. And then I'm like, we're good at 2. I can't imagine having – what does he have now?
He has 9, doesn't he? I thought he has a baseball team.
One of them's committed to NC State to play quarterback there.
Right, I think he has 9.
I haven't thought he added a 10th. But
he may have.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's incredible.
He does have 10, actually.
Yes.
He has added a 10th.
He has 10
They
kids.
welcomed their 10th child last November.
You think it's hard on Phillip Rivers? How about the woman that gave birth to 10 children?
And are any of them twins?
I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
Were they
no.
10 different births?
Listen to us. Like, this is the
wait.
typical man conversation.
Twins
My
are
goodness,
separate
how hard
births,
is
too.
How hard is this going to be on Phillip Rivers? He's got 10 kids. His wife gave birth 10 times and probably was assigned to making sure all of them were where they needed to be.
I'm not dismissing that. I'm saying that she's exhausted too.
They're all exhausted.
I'm saying if you're a parent and you have 2 children, you're exhausted. If you have 1 kid, you're probably exhausted. And that's why, again, I stopped at 2. And my comp is, how could you have 10?
Here's the question. Does Phillip Rivers, having 10 kids, has he had more sex than most men or less sex than most men?
That's a great question. That's really good. Like, is the only sex he's having to procreate?
Yes.
And it is strictly to just do a job, and then they're absolutely done. Or does this mean that he is always having sex?
I think it's impossible to know that.
Of course it's impossible, but what would you guess if you had to put your money down on one side of the ledger or
Were
the
you
other?
active when your wife was pregnant?
Yeah.
What, time out.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Time out. Not
Oh,
only,
really?
Time out. Not only, though, is she pregnant, but she's got several other kids that
That's what I'm
she's
saying.
watching, so she's not, maybe
Yeah.
It wears you down. There's, at a certain point you're like, boy, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Let's go to sleep. The kids will be up early in the morning.
I wasn't a big fan of that. Are we talking about the same thing?
Yes.
I don't know. What are you talking about?
Pregnant sex? Is that?
Listen, third
You can't
trimester
say
is
that for sure.
Yeah. Third trimester is a whole different story, but
Yeah.
couple.
I think he's having less sex.
I think that's probably the case as well, especially towards the back half of the children and the back 5, for sure. The final 5 on the back side.
That's maybe why he added a 10th, because he
Just so he could get a little?
Yeah. Let's have another kid. I forgot what it's like.
Yeah, I didn't know, like, of all the things we talk about today, Phillip Rivers' sex life probably wasn't in.
Yeah,
didn't make my top 1,000.
What was the question again? It was about
If
Caleb
Caleb
Williams
Williams has a Phillip Rivers-like career, will you be satisfied as a Bears fan?
What's the over/under on amount of kids Caleb Williams has?
I don't know.
I'm sitting at 2.5. You taking the over
Well,
or the under?
what is the average American family
It's
having?
like 2.1.
More kids or Super Bowls?
That's what I was just gonna say, Tyler.
Jesus.
I'm going. I'm setting
every time.
I'm going over on the Super Bowls. Over on the Super Bowls, over on the kids.
There is not a container that's big enough to handle the Kool-Aid that you
3
got
of
flowing.
each.
Yeah.
I think he's 3 of each.
Do you want the common sense answer? Or do you want the woof woof the Bears answer?
So if I'm setting 2.1 kids in Super Bowls,
I'd say kids.
no, both. I'm saying the over under of Super Bowls is 2.1, and over under on kids is 2.1. What are you going?
I'm going kids. Over kids, under 2.5 Super Bowls. The guy up north, who's now north and east from here, it played the position as well as anybody in the history of the sport
Same
has
with
won.
Favre. I know.
But he doesn't have any kids.
So what?
I'm just saying he has more Super Bowls than kids. Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
I'm saying, will Caleb have more kids or
Well,
more
I'm
Super
talking
Bowls?
about the number,
Yes.
I'm talking 2.5, the number that was set.
By the way, Jonathan Brust, brother
He's
of,
got like 9 kids.
He's got 6. He said, I'm tired with 6 kids, and he says, more sex, trust me.
Ooh, okay.
So he's a big fan of
Sex.
of pregnant sex. He said too.
Guess you get it when you can get it.
I did not think that would be a topic today either. Not only Phillip Rivers' kids, but
I think it's more. It's more obscure to be talking about Phillip Rivers' sex life than talking about pregnant sex.
Who's had more sex, Tom Brady or Phillip Rivers, in their life? If you had
I
to
think
guess.
it's Tom Brady.
I know, but dude is absolutely he is so about football, has been for his entire life. Going to bed at 8:30,
I think
Doesn't
Rivers
mean he's
is
going
the
to bed
same way.
alone.
What?
I know, but Phillip Rivers has how many kids does Brady have? 4?
5?
Does he have 5?
He's got one previously with
Yeah.
Bridget Moynihan.
And he was single for a bit.
I don't know.
That's true.
How
Nowadays,
many?
based on the roast, Tom's probably getting after it these days.
And based on the roast.
I don't even want to go there.
To go off of what we're hearing on the roast.
I'm out. I'm out. Conversation is going to be
definitely
hard
Brady.
for it to get.
All right. Is that it,
Tyler, you got anything else up your sleeve back there?
You want a quick baseball palate cleanser here? Shota Imanaga, even though the overall numbers didn't look bad, he did get touched up yesterday. He did end up only allowing 1 earned run, but it felt like he let up way more than that. But the Christopher Morel error certainly bailed him out. Is the league starting to figure out Shota Imanaga after back-to-back tough starts?
I think math is just doing its thing. I think things are evening out.
Our teams in the last 2 starts, though, approaching him differently. And I know he had several strikeouts last night, but that's a White Sox lineup that you're pitching to as well. For me, the answer has to be at least yes to a certain degree. That people are seeing what he does. You got a book on him now. That
he wasn't. He had a .80 or 7.0 ERA.
he wasn't going to be there forever.
No, he's going to be like my expectation of Shota from the beginning of the year was to be a 3 or a 4, and he was going to have a 3.5 ERA.
I was texting with Connor. Connor said DJ was all over it last night from the very beginning. Said he pointed it out after Vaughn's single in the first that the fastball wasn't high enough in the zone and the sinker was up.
He's got to be perfect. Yeah, like he doesn't
Because he's not overpowering.
No. I heard him explain that too to Kep and Jay Hood.